Hello. How's everybody doing today? I'm in my Indiana State University, ISU garb. Yes, I am a Sycamore. Went to Indiana State University, graduated, walked in the halls with Larry Bird, and now we went well into the NIT. I'm Mr. Chu. This is called tray arithmetic. So now we're going to solve mixed numbers, adding and subtracting, with the vertical stack method by finding the LCDs. Make sure if these particular videos help you, give them a thumbs up and like them. You can also subscribe. There'll be a button over here to click on in the lower right for you to subscribe. So we want you to find the LCD and simplify vertically. Now, in my earlier videos, we were finding a common denominator, a CD, not the LCD. But in these problems, we're going to find the least common denominator. So, whenever you're doing these, make sure that you are not using a calculator. And the reason I don't want you to use a calculator is because anyone can push the buttons. We're trying to get you to understand the relationships of the numerator, the denominator, the common denominator, the least common denominator, so that when you're in algebra, you can do it with the variables, because the calculator won't let you enter the variables in it. All right, so earlier videos, we changed these to improper fractions. And I had two students that sent me messages saying, hey, why don't you just leave those whole numbers? And I hadn't yet shown you how to do that, so now I'm going to. So we can leave the 3 and the 6 as whole numbers and just deal with the 1/2 and the 7/8 and still get the right answer. So in our earlier videos, we would have taken 2 times 8 to get 16. But you don't have to do that. All you have to do is just get the denominator common or the same. So sometimes it's easier just to take one of the denominators and multiply it by a number to get the other one. Not always, but in example 1, that is the case. So I can take a 2 and change it to an 8 by multiplying by 4. So I'm going to multiply the denominator by 4, so I have to multiply the numerator by 4, because remember, you always have to have an equivalent ratio when you find that common denominator. So I don't multiply this one because I've already got the 8 in the bottom. Do you see how they're both going to be an 8? So I'm just going to put a couple little arrows here. And we're going to take and rewrite this as 3, and 1 times 4 is 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. Because 3 and 4/8 is the same as 3 1/2. And then I'm going to just rewrite this, because I already have it in 8s, and write the whole numbers under each other and the fractional parts under each other. So as I add down, this is going to be, they're in 8s, 4 plus 7 over 8, 6 plus 3 is 9. So this is 9 and 11/8. But 11/8 is improper. So I have to take my 8, and some people don't have to do this, but it's the way you do it. The remainder is going to be my numerator. So this 11/8 means that I've got 9, and I'm adding just 11/8 to it. Now we're going to rewrite this as 9 plus 1 and 3/8. So if you want to just stack that up underneath it and add it to it, 10 and 3/8 is your answer. Now that was a lot easier. Could have you done it the other way? Yes. You could have made this 6 7/2 and made this 55/8, but then you have to convert it back. Got my green pen. All right, so now let's look at example 2. Example 2 is a little bit different. because you can't just multiply the 8 to make it 12. So you got to multiply them both. Now I have another video on how you find least common denominators or least common multiples that you could access. Do a search after you subscribe to my channel if you need more help. Most people can look at this and say, okay, I can take my 8 and change it to the same number I can change the 12 to by multiplying the 8 by 3. And I have to do the 3 by 3 because you got to do numerator and denominator. And then multiply the 12 by 2. Now you might say, how did you get that? Well, here's one thing that you could do that might be helpful. You could take the 8 and list multiples. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. And you go on and on and on as far as you need to. And then take the other one. 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. And when you get the same, 12 times 3 is 36. When you get the same number, that is the least common multiple. So you notice how we multiply by 3 because it's the third one. See how you multiply by 2? It's because it's the second one. So that's how you get, one way to get the least common multiple. It's not the most algebraic way, but it does work. You just may have to list a bunch of them until you get them. All right, so now we're going to take, and we're just going to rewrite this as 6 and 3 times 3, which is 9, over 8 times 3, which is 24. And this is minus 2, and 5 times 2 is 10. 12 times 2 is 24. Now something else is going to happen here that's going to cause a little bit of an issue. I'm going to rewrite this problem because I'm going to need a little more room to explain this. I cannot subtract 10 from 9, so I have to borrow. When I borrow this 5, I'm borrowing 24 over 24, because 24 over 24 is 1. So 9 plus 24 means that I can rewrite this as 33 24ths. Because 5 and 33 24ths is the same as 6 and 9 24ths. You could do it the same way that we did over here. All right, now, can you subtract this now? You sure can. So this is 5 minus the 2, which is 3, and 33 minus 10 over 24. So we know that is 3 and 23 24ths. Now remember, if these are videos that you like them. You can forward them to people. You can also subscribe down here to my channel. There's going to be a link up here to 2 challenge problems that I'm going to work out. I'm going to let you pause this, try them on a piece of paper just real quick, see if it makes sense. And then when you play it again, right at the end, click on that and see if it is something that you did right. So here are my 2 challenge problems. Simplify each problem without a calculator. Challenge 1. 4 3/4 plus 2 5/12. Try to get the least common denominator. On this one, it's like our example 1 where you can just multiply one of them by a number and get it. But number 2 is different. 1/6, 5 1/6 minus 3 3/8. So try those, pause this, and then once you turn it back on, there's going to be a link up here. All right. So I am Mr. Chu. This is Tray Arithmetic. We added in the least common denominator, and stack them up vertically. It's just an option that you can use, and for some people it's a lot easier. I had 2 students that commented on my earlier video saying, why don't you just stack them up and leave them as mixed numbers? So now we're doing it. I'm Mr. Chu, and I want to help you learn how to work with fractions. So keep watching my videos, and I will keep supporting my Indiana State University Sycamores. Have a great day.